你看到本儿，这个1号病房都这样的，我老子你看着了。我晓得这过道的，过道本儿，你到处出不去。本儿，这1号病房，你看儿，也都的不概念好，不讲究。来，你看到本儿，这儿坐这儿人响儿，看到？
里面也有，把里面
这本儿，这本儿打开，从这儿送饭，从进去这儿过道，我就在这儿站的是过道，里边也这样的。
现在就从那个门都拖出去了。
你看到这看着，而这边也是的。这1号病房门诊做制止进病人不离境来了，这边就响儿，从这接饭进去还是，这是个过道，知道吗？这1号病房是在中的，这个东儿没治不好的时候到火葬场去的，这是当时草胶，你看呢？到底还是没有这，有时还是在外面，还是一直打开。你们看，别看呐，你看到？我打开的看见到底，这边洗手间，这椅子库的，这边这别人库的屋儿，里面也有这个从这个打开，找哪个饭，随处不行。看到这儿这个卫生间。这别人库的卫生间，而这个门外面有这儿，里面没有有这儿，里面打不开。你看呢，这锁到这儿，前面在外面，过道的在外面，这都打不开。你看到，就这病房，一个人都哭多大个屋儿，这么这儿，门诊真是逼人入住的，你这看儿。
Hello everyone, welcome to NeoUnrealist. When the people heard that China was building a 10-day miracle hospital in the city of Wuhan in Hubei province, China, I'm gonna guess that most folks had a different image in their minds of what that would look like. Probably a lot different than this. This is not a hospital, it's a prison. I mean, the windows, they're welded shut, there's bars over them. They pass you your food through a slot that's set up like an airlock configuration where the inner door only opens if the outer door is closed. The door's locked from the inside. There's no mechanism to unlock the door on the inside, even though there's a key on the outside of the door. There's a cremation facility outside. What? Are you kidding me? What is this, Dachau? You check in, but you never check out, I guess. I mean, come on, China. Disguise it even a little bit. You will never get an accurate count on the dead with China building these kind of facilities all over the place. I mean, let's get this straight. You run a fever. You get a cough. They're going to pile you into this place with over 1,000 other people who presumably they're in the same boat as you. And if you don't make it, they're just going to pop the door in your cell, pardon me, your hospital room, and cart you over to the crematorium. Yeah, I'm sure China's reported statistics on coronavirus deaths, they're going to be completely accurate with all the evidence disappearing up the smokestack with no external chain of custody or outside witnesses to say who died, how many, and from what. This looks like a Supermax facility in the U.S., you know, the kind of place where they house threat level 4 inmates. I mean, you think I'm joking? Let's compare. This is the SHU, the Secure Housing Unit at Pelican Bay in California, one of the country's most notorious prisons. Now, if you're in here, you got sent to the hole. You were a bad boy. This is where they send you if you break the rules in prison.
If you drop your soap while in the shower, let it go.
Ward number 1 in the Wuhan Coronavirus Hospital and the SHU at Pelican Bay. Do you see a lot of difference here? Let's have a look at another notorious place of detention. The U.S. Penitentiary Administrative Max Facility in Florence, Colorado. The ADX is the federal government's only Supermax lockup. It's regarded as the highest security prison in the entire United States. If you get sent here, you are almost certainly classified as among the worst inmates in the entire country. This is the kind of place you'd hold maybe a cartel kingpin or someone who's displayed a level of violence towards staff so extreme, they send you here. So think about it. We have more than 2 million people locked up at any given moment in the United States. As of this time, there's only, 376 of them held in AdMax in Florence, Colorado? Only 376 people in the entire federal system are deemed to be so bad that it's justified to send them to this place where they get held under these extreme and draconian conditions. This is the kind of place that leftist organizations will endlessly complain about as capable of driving everyone insane if they're held under these conditions. So let's compare. AdMax, ward number 1 at the Wuhan coronavirus hospital. I mean, get out of here. The thing that irks me about this is, I'm not even saying that China may not be justified in building the facility like in the manner that they apparently have. But let's make no mistake. If you're going to say that this is justified, if this is what's required to handle patients of 2019 novel coronavirus, basically the most extreme conditions of involuntary detention that can be found in a humane society, then all the people waving their hands, saying that coronavirus is no worse than the annual flu outbreak, they need a reality check. Countries don't build things like this unless something is so out of the ordinary. Something's happening that it'd be the subject of a science fiction movie. I think the other day, Mr. Mediker was asking his chat if they thought this was M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening or something along those lines. There are now 90 million people effectively under martial law in China right now. That's more people than the populations of almost every other country in the world, except maybe, 15 out of the 235 generally recognized countries. If you wanted to find a country with more than 90 million people in it, you're starting to talk about large population places like Japan or Mexico as you climb towards the top of that list. I mean, ask yourself this while we're at it. Where is Xi Jinping? You remember back when all this started and he was walking around, just to show, hey, there's nothing wrong in China. Eat the bats. Have you seen Xi walking around outside recently? I don't think so. Also, given the nature of the regime in Beijing, if you think that only genuinely sick people are going to be housed in there, you got to think again. Yesterday, I showed you videos taken by a Chinese man in Wuhan named Fang Bin. Fang Bin, he was showing, the situation in hospital number 5 in Wuhan, how bad it was. Fang Bin got snatched from his home on Saturday, just a couple of days ago, by the Chinese authorities, with the excuse that they wanted to take his temperature because he'd been to the hospital number 5 in eastern Wuhan, and he wasn't, quote-unquote, adequately protected. So recall that they let Fang Bin go the same night, and they let him back on the street. He had to walk home. Apparently he found a bicycle. He rode home part of the way. It took him over 3 hours to get home. They let him loose for that. Apparently they didn't have they didn't think he was a threat then, right? He got home around 11 o'clock at night. So one imagines if they had let him go, then he was no threat to the public. Or why would they have released him onto the street again? Well, the Fang Bin just gets a letter today from the Chinese government saying he's been ordered into quarantine and he must report no later than February 10th, or one presumes they will come and fetch Fang Bin and take him away to said facility. So as he's in Wuhan and they're quarantining him on suspicion of coronavirus, one presumes he's going to be assigned to the Wuhan hospital as it starts taking in quote-unquote patients. I believe they started taking in patients today at the first finished hospital. So everyone else in Fang Bin's video was at hospital number 5 at the same time he was. Have they all been ordered into quarantine too at the new Gulag hospital? Or is that just Fang Bin? Was Fang Bin's proximity to coronavirus patients, was it somehow unique? There were dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of other people at the hospital at the same time that he was there. If Fang Bin was potentially exposed to coronavirus, And he spent at most, what, 5 or 10 minutes at the hospital. What about all those other people there? Have they gotten the same letter that Fang Bin got saying it's time to go to the gulag? People, it's not just the cold. Huoshenshan Temporary Field Hospital, it isn't just a hospital. Seen a lot of hospitals over the years. Never once seen anything like this outside of dual-use facilities like prisons or psychiatric facilities. Places where you're detained against your will. That's all for this NeoUnrealist. If you want to help the channel, do me a favor, hit like for this video. Even better, share it. Leave a comment below. Mash down the subscribe button if you're not already subbed to the channel, and click on the notification bell beside it. You put it on the all setting if you want to keep up with newer content. If you want to contribute directly to the channel, toss your hard-earned dollars, your yuan, into the tip jar. Follow the links below to Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal. Or if you watch this on BitChute, you can just click on the green tip pledge button on the video player. Thanks for watching.
Let that shit, let it go.